I still remember those Sunday mornings. The golden sunlight streaming through our kitchen window, Sophia flipping pancakes while humming our wedding song, and Emma giggling as I chased her around the living room. 10 years of marriage, our beautiful daughter, our dream home in the suburbs. We had it all. At least that is what I thought until Aaron showed up. My 8-year-old daughter started looking at me differently after that, and the light in our home began to dim. Before I tell you how my world collapsed, let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like and subscribe button if you have ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted with your whole heart. I was 35, a software engineer with a stable job at a tech company in Seattle. I had worked hard to build our life, 60-hour weeks for years to afford our colonial-style house with the white picket fence that Sophia had fallen in love with. We met in college, married soon after graduation, and welcomed Emma 2 years later. Those early years were magic. Sophia was working as a marketing manager, and somehow we managed to balance our careers with family life. I remember teaching Emma to ride her bike in our driveway, her triumphant smile when she finally pedaled on her own, and how Sophia captured the whole thing on video. Our family had our little traditions. Saturday nights were movie nights. Emma got to pick the films. Sophia made her famous caramel popcorn, and I built a fort in the living room with blankets and pillows. Sunday mornings I always cooked breakfast. Chocolate chip pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse for Emma, and blueberry ones for Sophia. Those simple moments were everything to me. The first signs of trouble came so subtly that I missed them entirely. One evening over dinner, Sophia casually mentioned running into Aaron, her college boyfriend. She said they had bumped into each other at a coffee shop downtown. Aaron was now a successful fashion designer who had moved back to Seattle after spending years in New York. The way she said his name, with a slight pause, a certain inflection, should have been my first warning. "We are just reconnecting as friends on Facebook," she assured me with a smile when I asked about their communication. "It is nice to catch up with old friends, you know." I trusted her completely. Why would I not? 10 years of marriage, a daughter we both adored, a life we had built together. I never imagined she would risk it all. But gradually things began to change. Sophia started locking her phone with a new passcode. She began coming home later from work, citing marketing team meetings that mysteriously occurred every Thursday evening. Weekend coffee with girlfriends became a regular occurrence. Then Emma started talking about awesome Uncle Aaron after Sophia took her along to one of these supposed friend meetups. "He knows all the Disney princesses, Daddy, and he promised to take me to the new fairy garden exhibit," she exclaimed one evening, her eyes bright with excitement. I felt a strange twist in my gut but pushed it aside. Maybe Sophia and Aaron really were just friends and he was being nice to our daughter. My world shattered on a Tuesday afternoon. I had forgotten some documents for an important meeting and rushed home to retrieve them. While searching for the files, I noticed Sophia had left her iPad on the kitchen counter. A notification popped up, a message from Aaron. I had never snooped on my wife before, but something compelled me to look. What I saw froze my blood. Their messages were synchronized on the iPad. Dozens, hundreds of exchanges over the past 3 months. Romantic messages, plans to meet at hotels. Pictures I cannot bring myself to describe. And worst of all, messages speaking about me. "Clint is so clueless, he will never suspect. Once this is over, we can be a real family. You, me, and Emma." There were messages about the gifts Aaron had been buying for my daughter. How he was strategically winning her over. How Sophia was portraying me as boring and uninteresting while building Aaron up as this exciting, magical figure in Emma's life. I sat at the kitchen table for hours, documents forgotten, reading through months of betrayal. I did not confront Sophia immediately. Some part of me hoped this was all a horrible misunderstanding. Maybe if I watched and waited, I would discover another explanation. Looking back, I was simply too afraid to face the truth. The pain grew worse as I started paying attention to the signs I had missed. I hired a private investigator who confirmed my fears, documenting Sophia and Aaron entering a downtown hotel together, capturing photos of them kissing in his car. Each new piece of evidence was like a knife twisting deeper into my heart. What hurt even more was watching Emma's attitude toward me change. She began talking constantly about outings with Uncle Aaron that happened during Sophia's friend meetups. "Daddy, why can't we go to the big amusement park like Uncle Aaron took me to?" she asked one Saturday during our regular movie night. "Uncle Aaron has a swimming pool at his building. He taught me to dive." Yesterday, she announced another time, leaving me wondering when this swimming lesson had occurred. I tried to compensate by being an even more attentive father. I suggested special father-daughter outings offered to chaperone her school field trips and tried to make our weekend times extra special, but Sophia found ways to create obstacles. Suddenly, Emma had dance practices scheduled during our planned outings. School projects mysteriously needed immediate attention when I suggested taking Emma to the zoo. I was being systematically pushed out of my daughter's life. After 6 weeks of gathering evidence and watching my family slip away, I finally confronted Sophia. I chose a moment when Emma was at a sleepover with a school friend. "I know about Aaron," I said, simply placing my phone on the kitchen table with the photos the investigator had taken. "I know everything." Sophia did not deny it. She did not even look ashamed. Instead, she seemed almost relieved, as if my discovery had saved her the trouble of telling me herself. "I have found my true love again," she said, her voice calm and resolute. "Aaron and I were meant to be together. What we had in college never really ended for either of us. These past 10 years with you have been nice, Clint. But Aaron makes me feel alive." Her words cut through me like a chainsaw through butter. Nice 10 years of marriage, of building a life together, of raising our daughter, reduced to nice end of 2. "We have a daughter," I said, my voice breaking. "We have a family. We can work through this. Couples counseling, a fresh start. I have already spoken with a lawyer," she interrupted. "I want full custody of Emma. You are always working, always distracted. Aaron has more flexible hours with his design business. He will be a better father figure." I felt like I had been hit by a truck. A better father figure. I am her actual father. I have been there for every birthday, every nightmare, every scraped knee. "Emma adores Aaron," Sophia said coldly. "He connects with her in ways you never could. She needs stability during this transition, not weekend visits with a father who is always checking his work emails." I was speechless. The accusation about work emails was particularly unfair. I had always made a point to be present with Emma, to put my phone away during our time together. But Sophia was rewriting our history to justify her betrayal. Within a week, Sophia had moved out, taking Emma to Aaron's luxury apartment downtown. I was allowed to see my daughter only on alternate weekends, and the first visit was devastating. Emma seemed distant, guarded. "Mommy says you did not want to live with us anymore," she said, her small face serious. "That is not true, sweetheart," I said, fighting back tears. "I wanted us all to stay together, but sometimes grown-ups have complicated feelings. Aaron says, men who really love their families do not let them go," she responded, repeating what was clearly an adult's words. "He says he would fight dragons to keep Mommy and me." Each visit brought new painful comments. Aaron took her to fancy restaurants. Aaron bought her a new tablet. Aaron was teaching her to play piano. Aaron promised to take her to Disneyland. The final blow came 3 months after Sophia left. I had picked Emma up for our weekend together and suggested we go to the new Children's Science Museum. "Aaron took me there last week," she said dismissively. "It was okay, I guess." Trying to salvage our day, I suggested baking cookies together, something she had always loved. She looked at me with those big brown eyes, so much like her mother's, and said words that shattered what was left of my heart. "I wish Aaron was my daddy. He is like the princes in my storybooks. Mommy says he is my fairy tale dad." I somehow managed to keep my composure until I dropped her off that Sunday evening. Then I sat in my car outside Aaron's building and sobbed like I never had before. The following months were the darkest of my life. I lost 20 pounds. Sleep became a distant memory. I would lie awake replaying Emma's words, wondering how my daughter could so easily replace me with a man she barely knew. My work performance suffered, and my boss placed me on a performance improvement plan, corporate speak, for shape up or get fired. My friends Jackson and Tyler stepped up in ways I will forever be grateful for. They showed up at my house with groceries when I had not been shopping for weeks. They dragged me to the gym, to basketball games, to anything that might pull me out of my depression. Jackson, who had gone through a divorce himself, connected me with a good therapist. "You cannot control what Sophia does," the therapist told me during our first session, "but you can control how you respond. Your daughter needs you to be strong right now, even if she does not realize it." While I was struggling to emotionally survive, Sophia was making aggressive legal moves. I discovered she was trying to claim the majority of our shared assets, including the house I had largely paid for. Her lawyer sent paperwork suggesting I was an uninvolved father, too consumed with work to properly care for Emma. She was pushing for minimal visitation rights for me. One Tuesday afternoon, I was at the downtown shopping mall, buying a birthday gift for Emma, when I spotted her with Aaron about 50 feet away. They had not seen me, so I instinctively stepped behind a pillar. What I witnessed next made my blood boil. Emma accidentally bumped into a display, knocking a few items to the floor. Aaron grabbed her arm roughly, his face contorted with anger, as he hissed something at her. Emma's face crumpled, and I could see tears forming in her eyes. I started moving toward them immediately. Parental protection, overriding everything else. Aaron spotted me, and his demeanor changed instantly. He released Emma's arm and put on a charming smile. "Well, look who it is," he said with false warmth. "We were just having a little shopping adventure, right, Emma?" My daughter nodded, but would not meet my eyes. "I saw how you grabbed her," I said, quietly conscious of not making a scene in public that would further upset Emma. Aaron's smile turned cold. "Mind your own business, Clint. Emma is with us now. She is our daughter." He emphasized "our" with a smirk that made me want to knock his perfectly whitened teeth out. "If you cause trouble, Sophia will make sure you never see her again." The divorce proceedings were brutal. In the courtroom, Sophia painted me as a workaholic who had neglected his family. Her lawyer brought up the few business trips I had taken, the late nights I had worked, to earn the promotion that paid for our comfortable lifestyle. They twisted everything I had done for my family into evidence that I did not care enough. The worst moment came when Emma was interviewed by the judge in chambers. When she emerged, the judge's sympathetic look in my direction told me everything I needed to know before he even spoke. "The minor child has expressed a preference to live with her mother and Mr. Aaron Lawrence," the judge stated. "While the court recognizes the importance of father-child relationships, we must consider the child's wishes and stability needs." After court adjourned, I was walking to my car when I overheard a commotion around the corner of the parking garage. Aaron's voice harsh and angry, Emma crying. I moved closer and saw Aaron berating my daughter because she had accidentally spilled water on his expensive Italian shoes. "These cost more than your father makes in a week," he snapped, giving her a sharp slap across the cheek that echoed in the concrete structure. I was there in an instant, pulling Emma behind me protectively. "Touch my daughter again, and I will have you arrested." I growled, every muscle in my body tense with rage. Sophia arrived moments later, and to my shock she defended Aaron. "It was just a little discipline, Clint. She ruined his $400 shoes. You always let her get away with everything." "She is 8 years old," I shouted. "No one hits my child. No one. She is not just your child anymore," Sophia responded coldly. "Stop interfering with how we raise her." That night, I made a decision that would change everything. If this was what they wanted, if Sophia wanted Aaron to replace me, if Emma thought he was her fairy tale father, then I would give them exactly what they wanted. But on my terms, I called my lawyer the next morning. "I am changing our strategy," I told him. "I am going to agree to Sophia's terms." "Are you sure?" he asked, clearly surprised. "We can still fight for joint custody." The judge seemed concerned about some of her claims. "I am sure," I said firmly. "But I need you to draw up some specific conditions." My plan was taking shape. First, I secretly bought a small teddy bear with a hidden camera inside and gave it to Emma as a "just because I love you" gift. She adored it and promised to keep it on her bed. This would give me evidence of how Aaron treated her when no one was watching. Next, I requested a private meeting with Aaron. He arrived smirking clearly, thinking he had won. "I will sign over the house to you and Sophia," I said calmly. "I will pay generous child support. I will even agree to reduced visitation." His eyes narrowed suspiciously. "What is the catch?" "I want guaranteed weekend visits with Emma without interference. I want to be able to call her twice a week. And I want to remain listed as her emergency contact at school." Aaron considered this greed, clearly overriding caution. "The house is worth about $700,000, he mused aloud. "And you will pay top-tier child support," I nodded. "Deal," he said, extending his hand. Before shaking it, I added, "Just between us. Why, Emma? You never seemed like the fatherly type in college." His laugh was cold. "Kids are great leverage, man. Sophia would never leave Emma with you, so she brings her, and all her assets, to me. Plus, having a cute kid around is good for my image with clients." He lowered his voice. "Between us, the brat is annoying as hell. Always wanting attention, asking questions. But small price to pay for the package deal." I forced myself to shake his hand, feeling sick, but knowing I had just recorded every word on my phone. With my plan in motion, I began the process of giving them exactly what they wanted, my apparent withdrawal from Emma's life. I agreed to Sophia's demands in the divorce settlement, signing over the house and agreeing to her custody terms. To them, it appeared I was simply giving up. What they did not know was that I was meticulously documenting everything. The teddy bear camera captured Aaron's verbal abuse toward Emma when Sophia was not around. The recordings revealed him calling her stupid, annoying, and a burden. It caught him threatening to send her away to boarding school if she did not behave exactly as he wanted. Meanwhile, I maintained a friendly relationship with Emma's teachers, who began calling me directly with concerns about her declining grades and withdrawn behavior. I spoke with Emma's best friend's mother, who shared that Emma was no longer allowed playdates because Aaron thought her friends were from families beneath their social status. 3 months into my strategy, things began to change. Emma started calling me outside our scheduled times, often crying because Aaron had canceled plans with her or because he had yelled at her for interrupting his work calls. "Daddy, he made me quit ballet," she sobbed during one call. "He says I have to learn piano instead because ballet is for babies. But I love ballet, Daddy. I have been practicing my recital dance in my room at night." Each call broke my heart, but I knew my plan was working. I was building a case while allowing them to see what life was really like with the fairy tale dad. 5 months after our divorce was finalized, the real implosion began. Through mutual friends, I learned that Sophia had discovered Aaron texting with multiple women. She confronted him only to find evidence of a full-blown affair with his assistant. Worse, Aaron had already spent a significant portion of the divorce settlement money on a failed business venture he had hidden from Sophia. When Sophia confronted him, Aaron showed his true colors. He kicked her and Emma out of the house, my former house, giving them just 2 days to pack. Apparently, the property had already been refinanced in his name alone, something he had pressured Sophia to agree to months earlier. By this point, I had accepted a job transfer to Portland, just 3 hours away from Seattle. I had a new apartment, had started making new friends, and had even gone on a few dates with Katie, a software developer at my new company. I was healing, building a new life, while still remaining connected to Emma. My phone rang at 11:30 at night, 6 months after the divorce. It was Sophia, sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. "Aaron kicked us out," she managed to say. "We are staying in a motel. I lost my job last month. The company downsized. I cannot afford rent or Emma's school fees. Clint, I am so sorry. You were right about everything. He never loved us." I remained silent, letting her continue. "He used us, Clint. He used me to get the house your money. He used Emma to control me. Once he had what he wanted, he threw us away for someone else." Her voice broke. "Emma keeps asking for you. She has nightmares about Aaron yelling at her. She sleeps with that teddy bear you gave her every night." "Where are you staying?" I asked, my voice steady. despite the emotions churning inside me. "A Motel 6 off Interstate 5, she admitted. "It is all I could afford." "Is Emma okay right now? Is she safe?" "Yes, she is asleep." Clint. "I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but I did not know who else to call." The next day I drove back to Seattle and met them at a diner near their motel. Emma ran to me the moment she saw me, throwing her small arms around my waist and burying her face against my stomach. "Daddy, I missed you so much," she cried. "I am sorry I said Aaron was better. He is not. He is mean and scary, and he does not read books with the right voices like you do." I held her tight, fighting back tears. "I missed you too, sweetheart. More than you can ever know." Over breakfast, Sophia looked like a shadow of her former self. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back carelessly, wearing a sweatshirt that had seen better days. I ruined everything she said when Emma went to the restroom. I threw away 10 years of real love for a fantasy. Aaron never loved me. He loved what he could get from me. From us. She reached for my hand across the table. "I will do anything to make this right, Clint. Anything. We can start over. Be a family again." I gently withdrew my hand. "Sophia, I will always care about you as Emma's mother. But we cannot go back. Too much has happened." "Are you seeing someone?" she asked, noticing my hesitation. "I have been on a few dates," I admitted. "But that is not why. I cannot go back to someone who threw away our family, who helped another man replace me in my daughter's eyes, who stood by while he mistreated her." Tears streamed down Sophia's face. "Please, Clint, do not walk away from us. From me." "I am not walking away from Emma," I said firmly. "Never. But our marriage is over." I helped Sophia find an affordable apartment in Seattle and paid the security deposit. I arranged to have Emma stay with me every other week, rather than just weekends. I set up therapy for Emma to process her experiences with Aaron. Slowly, my daughter began to heal. She returned to ballet classes. Her grades improved. The nightmares became less frequent. She developed a sweet friendship with Katie, who taught her to code simple computer games. Sophia eventually found a new job and began dating again, more cautiously this time. We developed a cordial co-parenting relationship, and she never again tried to limit my time with Emma. As for me, the journey taught me painful but valuable lessons. I learned that true love is not about grand gestures or fairy tale promises. It is about showing up day after ordinary day. I learned that sometimes you have to let people experience the consequences of their choices. And I learned that I was strong enough to rebuild, to create a life filled with purpose and even joy after devastating loss. Sometimes giving people exactly what they want is the best way to help them discover what they truly need. Sometimes the bravest thing is not fighting to keep someone who wants to leave, but having the courage to open your hand and let them go, while keeping your heart open for those who truly deserve a place in it. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have fought harder at the beginning, or taken the approach I did? Drop a comment below, and if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to hear more real-life experiences. Share this with someone who might need to hear that sometimes walking away is the strongest thing you can do. Thank you for listening to my story, and remember, your worth is never determined by those who fail to see it.